Before working on your computer, check if the surroundings are clear of any hazardous materials such as paper, plastic, cell phones, or any other things that may easily generate static electricity. Make sure that you are wearing proper clothing. No long sleeves, baggy clothes. If you do have long sleeves, make sure to roll them up to prevent ESD from forming on the tip of your sleeves. Make sure that you are wearing shoes with rubber soles to ensure that you are properly insulated against any dangerous electrical shocks. Check for any outlying sources of electricity, such as the power cord, and make sure that they are unplugged before opening the case of the computer. If your computer has a rocker switch, flip it up and down repeatedly to discharge any remaining electricity stored in the power supply of the computer. Now that the preliminary checks are over, you can proceed to safely take apart the computer. It is important to note that all components on the motherboard as well as elsewhere are very sensitive to static electricity and therefore susceptible to electrostatic discharge. Very important components such as the microprocessor can be damaged with an ESD of merely 10 volts. While that may not seem like a lot, normal humans are not able to perceive static electricity until it reaches about 1500 volts, and a static shock can be anywhere around 7 kilovolts to 12 kilovolts. In order to avoid ESD, we must ground ourselves before coming into contact with any of the internal components inside the computer. The most simple and conventional way of grounding yourself is to simply touch the metal casing of the computer. This allows any static electricity in you to flow directly to ground through the computer casing. A good way of grounding the computer and making sure that it does not have any static electricity is to use the ground pin of a power cord. This can be done by clipping out the voltage pins and plugging only the ground pin into the outlet. This allows the pin to discharge any electricity buildup inside the computer. The anti-static wristband is also a very good utility in helping to ground yourself. Simply put on the wristband and plug its ground end into the ground pin from the outlet. Another way of using the anti-static wristband is by clipping it on the side of the computer casing. This has a similar effect to touching the casing physically to ground yourself as we mentioned before. However, while touching only provides a temporary ground, the anti-static wristband provides a permanent one. After completing these safety procedures, it is now safe to proceed to working on the computer.